Alright, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing well today. So I made this video about 10 different types of jabs a few weeks ago. There was a good response for it. Thank you for sharing. Anyone that shared that video, I really appreciate it. But there was a lot of comments in the comment section, you know, a few questions and stuff like that. And obviously the short is only 1 minute long, and I was going to make this video anyway, explaining some of these jabs just briefly, because this channel is really geared for people that are learning boxing, probably from a beginner, intermediate, you know, from the ground up really. But I like to make boxing videos, so that one came out how it did. But for anyone that's curious, I'm going to go over each jab. There are more jabs actually. You know, one of the questions was like, I didn't really realize there were this many jabs. I was like, yeah, there's still more, you know. But I'm going to go over these jabs, briefly explain their, you know, uses in brief fashion, because there are a couple of the jabs that I'm not as familiar with, so I don't want to, you know, tread on any dangerous ground and, you know, upset any people, because you know, there's some deep knowledge to be spoke on some of these jabs that I don't have. But if you have any and you're watching this, comment section. But shout out to all the new subscribers, big up to all the old subscribers, and like I said, thank you for sharing the video. Let's get into the video.
Boxing.
Okay, so first jab, the first one up is a power jab. Now, obviously, Triple G has got a tremendous jab. He's got a very good power jab. Now, a power jab, you know, it used really, it has several uses, but you're really trying to, you know, and show who the boss is really. You know, like, you want to gain a bit of real estate. You want to, you know, show your opponent what kind of power you have as well. You could really try to look to hurt your opponent, back them up. Like I said, gain that real estate, be the dominant fighter, and just let them give a little sneak preview of what kind of power you have. And, you know, like I said, it backs them up and makes them think a little bit twice about, you know, wow, if that's just the jab, what's in the other hands, you know? So it can be a very assertive, dominating, hard jab, and you can really make your mark. It does require a bit more energy, you know, like, so if when you had the thing with the power jab is you step into it.
Oh, look at that jab! Wow,
that jab is a lethal weapon.
It's unbelievable.
Typically, well, you want to step into it because you're gathering more energy and more transfer of weight through, and it flows through, and you have to have the body language too, and you know, you have to really mean it, you know, body language in your face, like you really want to hurt this guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, bah! So you step through it, you get a lot of the kinetic chain whizzes through your body, comes here, bam, hits your opponent straight in the face, and that's gonna hurt. And not to mention, you know, make a mark and you could do it early in the fight just to really, you know, impose your will, kind of, you know. But like I said, it takes a little bit of a bit more energy. You can't just power jabbing the whole fight. Well, maybe if you're in super shape, but it's gonna weigh you down. But that's the power jab. All right, second up, this is the up jab. Now, this is one of the jabs I'm not as familiar with. I can throw it because I practiced a lot. If you're a beginner watching this, like, you got to get in the gym and practice. If you want to learn boxing, you've got to practice over and over and over. And that's going to be, you know, something I'm going to drill home with all these younger fighters, or whatever age fighter you are. If you're just learning, got to get in the gym and practice. Not necessarily even in the gym, shadow box anywhere. But the up jab, you know, I've sparred loads of fighters that have had up jabs. It is sneaky because the trajectory is different, okay? The actual way that you throw the shot is mostly from the arm, okay? So like an arm punch like that, and it comes up like almost like an uppercut. It's way harder to see, but you can stab with someone, stab an up jab. You can use it to just, you know, maneuver if you really want. But if you watch fighters with good up jabs, they're shooting it, bam, right to the bottom of the jaw. It doesn't have to be, but James Toney, Paulie Malignaggi, Floyd Mayweather, there's Georgie Benton.
Only way that Malignaggi can win this fight is to start to circle and box.
there's tons of fighters with really good up jabs, and it's a great weapon. But and there was someone in the comments that said, you know, well, he practices or he uses the regular jab, and a lot of the jabs in the video were just sort of, you could learn from that, not the up jab. It's a totally different style. It takes like I said, the trajectory is different. The arm muscles in your arm are being activated more than being pushed from here, as opposed to your chest back muscles. This is just all arm. So it's a great jab if you can master it, because it again, it gets you can get a different angle from it, and you can use it just to, you know, sharply whack your opponent in the face. That's the up jab. But again, my knowledge on it isn't as deep as it could be. Maybe I'll do a bit of research on it, but respectfully, I'm not going to go into it too deeply because there's a lot I don't know about it. But let's get on to the next one. Jab to the body. Well, this is pretty self-explanatory, although the impact is a little different, okay? Sometimes, typically, like, you know, if your opponent's pressing you down, and you just need a bit of space, you want a bit of room, you can use the stab jab, which I'll get into in a minute. But the jab to the body, you almost like, you want the impact to be almost like a little push. So when you hit the belly, you're pushing them back. You don't always go for trying to hurt them, although it can be done. I'll show you the clip. Jamel Charlo obviously hurt Rosario with a body jab. Andre Ward used to have, well, Ward and Mayweather, great jabs to the body.
Jab lands. Now jab to the body. Jab to the body again.
A lot of times they're pushing it in and they're just trying to back their opponent up, you know, stop them from coming in as much. And obviously the accumulation of landing a jab to the body, one might not do that much, two might not, but over the course of a fight, you know, if you're landing it clean and consistently, that can have an effect, and it can give you a bit of breathing space. Also, if you are not necessarily going backwards, or you're not necessarily having an opponent that's walking you down, but you want to use it as a variation jab, you know, going downstairs can create, you know, confusion sometimes. If you're going upstairs, downstairs, jab to the head, then come right hand to the belly. Just mixing it up is a good way to go, and a jab to the body is a great punch. Underused as well, actually. You know, you don't see as many fighters do it these days, but you know, actually Boots Ennis was doing it quite nicely the other day. Great punch, but like I said, sometimes you don't want to just snap it like a normal jab. You kind of get there and you push it, and you want to use your body to thrust forward, so you are pushing your opponent back, or you are doing a bit more damage. But that is the jab to the body. Okay, stab jab. This is a great jab. The difference in this is, and I spoke to my friend and trainer, one of my mentors, Don Saxby. I always ask him about stuff I'm not totally sure with. He fills me in if Jihad, my trainer's not there. I always ask the guys in the gym. The stab jab, basically your back foot doesn't leave the ground, okay? You're just stepping forward on that front foot, stabbing, like kind of a bit like, you know, if opponent's coming at you a little bit, it's stab jab like that. You want to stab it to the chest sometimes, and you just take a little step forward. It's got a decent amount of power in it, a little pop. It's similar to a power jab, but not as much intention. It's just a little stab like that, stab to the chest, boom. But you're not leaving your feet, and your momentum is not going. You're not coming into the punch and doing as much, you know, damage. You just want a little stab like that. It doesn't require as much energy, but it's still pretty nifty. And I'm sure there are other things I'm missing about the stab jab, because it's a newer one for me to get into. So if you do know more about that, hit the comment section. But your back foot doesn't leave the ground. You just step into it, and it can be used to back your opponent up. If they're backing you up, just to give yourself a bit of breathing space, you know, just a stab like that. Lee Wood was using it great against Mauricio Lara, especially in the first fight. All right, a probing jab. Now this one's excellent because it doesn't really require any energy, but it can do a lot of blinding. You know, you're gathering your range. You are putting your glove in the line of fire, so you're blocking their eyes. Okay, obviously ready to set up the bigger punches. The right hand, the backhand. Devin Haney's really good at this.
Haney looks every bit of a world champion so far.
Shakur Stevenson as well. Caleb Plant was doing it quite a lot, and it stays out. And Mayweather's excellent with the probing jab as well. And you're just trying to create opportunities by, like I said, blinding them, creating some kind of diversion. But the other punches are coming through, and a probing jab is excellent for that, because there's a split second when you have someone's glove in the middle of your face like that. You know, split second they could throw the right hand. You don't see that. You don't have enough time to react. Bang, the shot lands. But that's the probing jab. This next one is a poke. You're poking off of it, okay? So this is the probe. Technically, you're not even throwing it, right? You're just out there doing this, frustrating them. But the poke is actually a jab. So your extended arm is out, and then bam, you're just extending it like that, okay? Just poking like that, bam. And that can be a short, you know, cute shot to the head or wherever, to the chest. And that can create more opportunities for other punches depending on how your opponent reacts. But you just hear that bam, and you can get a nice little, if you twist your arm like that and pop it, move a little forward, like that, bam, you can get some nice results with it. That's the poke off a probe. All right, the throwaway jab. Now this is, someone else in the comments said, you know, what's the most effective jab? You know, it's hard to answer that, but a throwaway jab is going to set up a massive punch, you know, at the end of the day. So you could argue that would be it. But then I also said, you know, if you look at Paulie Malignaggi has won world titles with the up jab, and fighters can control fighters with up jabs, and you can set up. I mean, it's a hard question to answer, because, you know, a power jab can back someone up and hurt them and give you the momentum in the fight, and, you know, other jabs can just a normal jab. It depends. There's no real, you know, right answer really, but a throwaway jab can definitely set up the knockouts. So, and it's more of an extension from a pro, but you are stepping in. Not necessarily stepping in, but usually stepping in to get the range to your opponent, but you want to create a diversion. So you throw the jab, you're not meant to land it, okay? But now you've got this the distance between you and your opponent. Now you're in striking range. They might think they're jabbing. Their eyes are on the jab. Boom! Look at Canelo against Khan.
Right here, feigned the jab. He didn't want to hit the jab, just feigned him to get close enough and close the door with the kitchen sink. He didn't want to hit the jab, just feigned him to get close enough and close the door with the kitchen sink.
Now he comes in, he throws the jab, he's not even trying to land it, it falls well short. Khan reacts to it, he doesn't see the right hand coming, boom. And that is actually similar to the flicker jab, which we'll get onto now. Because the flicker, it's a newer jab for me, to be honest. You don't see it as much. And the beautiful thing about throwaway jabs and flicker jabs, if you look at Canelo's one, he actually is kind of flicking his wrist. It requires no effort to do that, okay? And I could blind someone like that, boom, that's the shot. But Canelo throws it away, kind of flicks. But if you look at how Tyson Fury used the flicker jab, he's literally flicking Wilder's arm or hand.
Barrage of punches from Tyson Fury. This time, though, his corner had seen enough.
And you have to probably be your opponent. Probably you can't get away with flicking your opponent's hand, I think, if they've got their full strength. So I think Tyson Fury understood that and used it at the right time. He was flicking Wilder's hand up like that, and then boom, came in with like a flicker throwaway jab for the right hand, creating a distraction, creating a diversion, moving his hand out the way with it. That's similar to a throwaway jab. And as you can see, Canelo kind of had a hybrid. All right, the double jab. Now this is an excellent punch again for real estate. If you want to back your opponent up, obviously score points. The second jab is probably the one that's going to land if you're coming in like that, and then bam, you know, you extend the arm. You want good you know, good technique on this when you're stepping in. Bam, bam. You don't have to bring this all the way back. Step, boom.
Straight right hand by Mayweather.
I'm not making a good example because I'm sat down, but a double jab is a really good way to control the fighter, to back them up, to open up any other opportunities for other punches, you know. Because what you're trying to do when you open the jab is the most important punch for so many reasons. It has a variety of uses, and you know, a double jab, when you're jabbing, you can open up a reaction from your opponent, and thus you could land other shots too, whilst getting real estate, whilst, you know, being the dominating fighter and backing them up, and then, you know, try and land that backhand again. But the double jab, yeah, it could be powerful too. It could really hurt your opponent if you come in, and because you're stepping in with it. Really, a double jab, you want to step in with it, bam, bam, you know, and you're flowing into the fighter. So good use of control, the double jab. All right, this is a swivel jab. This is an excellent jab. Not used that much as well. Andre Ward used to have a good swivel jab. Caleb Plant's got a pretty good one. Bivol, actually.
Canelo is definitely frustrated.
There you go.
Yep.
Kovalev too. You know, it can really come in off of a 1-2 and then boom, turn and swivel into it. Okay, a lot of times he caught Canelo with that shot. Matarosian caught Triple G with a swivel jab.
Bodies come in with a jab, a right hand, and Triple G thought it was over. Then all of a sudden, bing, there goes another jab.
And you know, like it's a kind of a unusual end to a combination, and that's why it catches people, because they switch off. If they think the 1-2 hasn't quite landed, boom, there comes a swivel. Or you can feint with the right hand, ow. or you can feint with the right hand and come round with there. Bud Crawford has got an excellent swivel jab, because he'll feint. I don't know, from his southpaw position, he might do it the other way. I'll find a clip. Excellent swivel jab, and you know, you can get a good chunk of power in it because you're turning it and you're shoving your jab forward, bam, 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 and that is, like I said, it's kind of a unique jab because it's a little rarer, and it just catches fighters off guard because they switch off. Eastern Europeans use it quite a bit. And that is it. That's the 10 jabs. There are a few more. I mentioned a vertical jab is another one. I'll leave a link for that. I made a video about that. There's a corkscrew jab where, you know, it's probably got a different name in America or the UK. I don't know where I've heard that term, but you're basically turning it like that as if it's a corkscrew. You can get your head off the line. If you're fighting a taller fighter, you can get your head here and corkscrew the shot in like that, turn it round. Or even if you're not, you can still, boom, a little safer. It's just a weird trajectory, but bam, you can catch them like that. It's a great shot. And there are little nuances too to the other jabs, like maybe uppercut hybrid jabs like that, you know, shovel jabs or whatever. There's probably loads more. Leave a comment if you know any more. And yeah, that's it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That is it for me, because I wanted to make this video fairly short, but I've kind of yapped on a little bit. But shout out to all the new subscribers. Let me know if you want me to cover anything. I'll be glad to do that. If there's enough people doing it, I will be in the gym every single week. And like I said, I'm trying to take this channel to 10,000 by the end of the year, because we're going to do this, and I'm going to put my all into it, as I have been doing. But you know, I just want to say thank you to all the subs. Thank you to anybody that's liked it, shared it, and subscribed. Yeah, all right, I'm out of here. Peace and love. Have a great week.
Boxing.
On the edge.